Hi coloring friends and welcome back to my channel. Today is a happy day because it's time to fill my completed pages for the last quarter. So I'm sharing my completed coloring pages for the first quarter of 2022 and I wish you all a lot of fun. I managed to finish 15 pages. This is not too bad for me. Could have been better, but unfortunately I was a bit in a coloring slump for a while. It all started at the end of February, you know, with these things happening in Ukraine. It's just horrible, and but I don't want to talk about it because this shall be a happy place. On my channel we want to celebrate happy and colorful and peaceful. So, and the star will be this Lynn Enchanted Faces book. In this book I finished 5 images, so 1/3 is only in this book. So, this is the stack of books. It's not a whole lot. I also, worked on some PDF pages because this year I really want to concentrate a little bit of PDF pages as well. Actually, I want to have it like 50-50, so 50 of my pages, color them in books, 50 on PDF pages, because I don't want to forget about them. And now let's get started. So we are starting with Enchanted Faces by Lynn. This is one of my 10 books to finish. And this is the first page that I managed to color. This is a page that I colored from start to finish, so to speak. So this is, I had started just a very little bit of her hair when I tried out, or when I did a video for you, I think. I will turn on light so that I can show you actually some glittery parts on this. I do have a little bit of stickles here on her tail, so I hope the camera is catching it. A little bit of gel pen, but that's actually also not a whole lot of embellishments on here. I did a alcohol marker base for it. I usually do it in those Create Space thinner books, so you can see it bleeded through. And then I went over with Prismacolors. This is my preferred pencil in this book here. Let me find the second one. Then I managed to finish this image, and I really like how this one came out. I don't have any embellishments on this one, so that's not too often that I don't put any embellishments on it. I finished this page here, and on this one I also used an alcohol marker base, as you can see. I used Prismacolors on the hair and the skin. And then the red is actually Derwent Lightfast pencils. It is the same color combination that I did on the Mariola image for the hair color combination that I shared. I wanted to try it in this book, and as the blend wasn't perfect on those larger spaces, I went over actually with a, I think it's a Ohuhu water-based marker. So I went over the pencil with an Ohuhu water-based marker, or with 2 colors actually, and this makes this really pop. So it made it even pop a little bit more. We still have some reflections from the wax, I think. And then on this light bulb here, I used some Arteza, or is it also Ohuhu? No, Ohuhu acrylic paint pens. So, and I really enjoy those acrylic paint pens at the moment. And yeah, that's all for this image. I also have started ones, so this one is a started one. I wanted to practice tight noses on it, and unfortunately I wasn't able to finish it yet. That's a pity actually. This is another one that I continued. I had also started it only a little bit on the hair actually. And yeah, then I colored in her face and finished up the rest of the hair. Unfortunately, yeah, I didn't finish it up. One reason for my coloring slump was also that I tried to force myself to finish some of those images, some of those Hannah Lynn images, and also the Mariola page that you will see later. And as I wasn't feeling for them, or on some parts I just don't know yet how I want to color them. For example, this little, I think it's a penguin or something like that, or penguin. And so, yeah, I rather didn't color anything before I continued those pages, which I forced myself to but didn't want to color. So maybe it was a little bit stupid. Then I also finished this image here in March, and I have a video for you on her face, how I colored in this face here. So if you're interested how I do it, I will link it there for you, that you can check it out. This was colored also with the alcohol marker base, and then Prismacolors for her skin, and for most of it actually. The hair I did with Pablo pencils, so Caran d'Ache Pablo pencils. I just pulled them out. I want to use them a bit more again. I think the background was also done with Pablo, so I wasn't that happy with the color combination here, but as I started it, I had to finish it. But I have to say, after I got used a little bit more to my Pablo pencils, I really enjoy them now again. And then I have started the page here with the Castle Art Gold pencils, the hair. Also filmed it a bit for a little bit of a impression video on those pencils, which will come out later. I also finished this image here. So this was also a work in progress that you could see in my video, which I put out for all the whips that I had at the start of 2022. If you're interested, I will try to remember to link it there. And yeah, on this one I also used the alcohol marker base, Prismacolor, so I'm quite boring with my materials actually. As I said, in this book I really enjoy to use just alcohol markers and then mostly Prismacolors. And then for the embellishments I used quite a bit of glitter gel pen, the Arteza ones. Here on her dress I did some Arteza gel pens, glitter gel pens. Also here on those feathers I kind of outlined them with the clear star jelly roll. I put a little bit of stickles here on her eye makeup. This eye makeup, I think it looks quite nice. I did it a little bit bluish. So that's that page actually. A little bit of stickles here on those little dots here. And then the last page that I finished in this book is this mermaid here. This was actually a long-standing whip that I had started a few years ago already. And yeah, finally I managed to finish it. On this one I also used the Arteza glitter gel pens, like here on her fins. I outlined them with a green glitter gel pen. Then here on her tail I've used some stickles. I think most probably the Diamond and Enchanted stickles. I really love those colors. Also added a little bit of stickles here on those details here. Here on those pearls as well. So the hair I know I did with polychromos back then, but the rest again is colored with Prismacolors and with an alcohol marker base, as I usually normally do in these books here. So, and these are 5 more images to this book, which is one of my 10 books to finish actually, and I enjoyed working in this book so much. So in the first quarter I concentrated a bit on my 10 books. So this is another one from my list, and this is A Fairy Lives in Every Garden by Destiny Lauritsen. And I finished also a whip that I had in this book, and it's this cute autumn fairy here. I had started her last year in autumn, and I have to say I really like how she came out. The only thing that I don't like is the amount of stickles that I've added here, so all those stickly dots I don't like as much. I had something in mind. I wanted to try to make it like those leaves were like flowing in the air and like sparkling in the air, but somehow this turned out like a total mess. I totally overdid it, and naja, it looked, or I liked it a lot better without the stickles. And also on the background, I have to say that I really like this background. I did it with Neocolor too, but then I went over with those Paul Rubens shimmer paints a little bit, you can see here. And that's actually what made this page, or this background, which destroyed it a little bit for me, because I have to say that I really liked this background before I did this. So what I want to say with this is embellishments are not always working out, so, and sometimes less is more. So that's all that I want to say. And yeah, but other than that, I really like this fairy here. And then I have one work in progress in this book. Here it is, which I had also worked on in the first quarter. So I had only colored in her face, and then I just colored in those wings, flowers, her hair, and yeah, marker based everything with alcohol markers. Of course, I don't have any embellishments on this one yet. So this is the other page that I worked on. Unfortunately, didn't finish it yet. This was A Fairy Lives in Every Garden by Destiny Lauritsen. So then I managed to work in Magical Dawn. I had a started page in this book, and that I really wanted to finish, also because to show some support to Hannah Carlson, who unfortunately is ill, so to speak. Yeah, seriously ill. And so I had started this page the very last days of December last year, when I got my Castle Art Gold pencils, which I tried in this book. So all those flowers here are done with the Castle Art Gold, and I have to say in this book I really enjoyed them. They feel strange, I have to admit. They are totally different than any other pencil that I have colored with, I would say. But they're interesting. It's fun to work with them, and I enjoyed it. And I really like the color combinations that I came up with here. So I was even thinking about doing a like some of my fellow color tubers do, like sharing their color combinations, and I was thinking about doing that too, but I don't know. I'm just too lazy to write everything down. Those I have written down because I just for myself, Of course, I really like the combinations that I came up with, so I thought it was worth printing them down or writing them down. So if you're interested in one of them, let me know. I can share that with you. And then on the background, I use Neocolor too. In this book, I really enjoy to use Neocolors on the background. This makes it just a little bit more artistically for myself, and it's a lot of fun. And then I went over on certain spots with these gelatos, because the background was a little bit splotchy, I have to admit. And the violet sheen that you can see here, this is all the effect from the gelato. And I really like how this came out, to be honest. It was those galaxy colors, so some effect colors from gelatos, and yeah, I really enjoyed this and will try this effect again, maybe on a galaxy background or something like that. And then on the bubbles, I've added quite a bit of stickles, as you can see, to make them very sparkly and glittery. So yeah, so this is the page that I managed to finish in the Hannah Carlson book Magical Dawn. So then I have colored this page by Daria Sakirsoy. Yeah, this is a PDF printable, obviously. It's called Dahlia. And the first second that I saw this image, I knew that I wanted to color it and that I had to color it. Because, I don't know, I really like the expression of her face, of her eyes. Yeah, and the hair, I love everything about this page, and that's why I had to color it. I started this one on my Valentine's color is on. Maybe you've seen it. It was not as productive as I had thought it would be, but it was a lot of fun to start some of those pages that I really like. And I colored this with, the face was done with Prismacolors. Her hair was done with the Caran d'Ache Pablo pencils. As I said, I enjoyed them a bit more in the last quarter. Then here on this dress, I would say, I have used those Hoo water-based markers. Those work very nicely on this paper. This is a special paper. This is by, I think, Claire Fontaine. 160 gram, I think a drawing type of paper. I printed this image on the back side of this paper, and but I have to say that those water-based markers, this flower is also water-based with those markers, works really well on it. So this is something that I want to explore a bit more. And then the background I did with, let me think about it. I did it with gelatos. Yeah, the background was done with gelatos. I wanted to do something different, and I thought green was very nice as a complement to violet, or yeah, lilac. But it was a little bit too bright, and I wasn't sure about it. And then I remembered that I had this stickled gel here, which I hadn't used so far, and I thought so this was the perfect moment to try this. And as you can see, the stickled gel is very shiny, very sparkly. I think this could look very nice on a galaxy background maybe. I really like when Colorings K uses it. She actually made me buy this stuff and yeah, at least now I have tried it out, so that's actually fun. I also added a little bit of stickles here on this flower and also on the dress. So typically I use stickles or embellishments on clothing or yeah, those type of things in the picture. So yeah, that was this image, and then I also started this page by Mariola Boudek, also on my Valentine's color is on. I also have a video up for this flower color combination, a yellow, pink, rose. So if you're interested, you will find it somewhere on my channel, not too far back. And I also have a video coming up for the hair, for this golden blonde hair. So if you want to know this color combination, which is also done with the Pablo pencils, this is going to come fairly soon. And her skin is colored with Prismacolors. I did use some different colors this time, so I added in some salmon pink here on those cheeks and poppy red, I think, to make this a little bit more reddish. And I used some more browns here around the eyes, just to change it up a bit, because typically I use the same colors, but I just wanted to play a little bit and see what I can do. And here on her dress, this was really a journey, so to speak. I didn't like what I did there at all. I messed it up, so to speak. And then I tried to save it with the Paul Rubens shimmer paints. And you can see it's quite shiny. Did a stickles border here to this dress. Other than that, I don't have many embellishments on here. A little bit here on this rose. So there is a little bit of stickles here as outlining. Not complete outlining, but a bit. And then on the background I used gelatos. Actually I went in with distress inks. With the distress inks first, then the background didn't look as I imagined it, and then I went over with those pearly gelato colors. And I don't know if you can see it, but it has a little bit of sheen to it, but it's very pearlescent, so very soft. And I actually think that this fits that it fits this image quite well, and I really like the look of it. So this was an happy accident for me, because it was not planned. I had planned a lighter background, but in the end I really like how this came out. So this is this page by Mariola Budek. And then of course I've worked in Fairy and Fantasy 3, because I just had to color something by Christine Karen. Christine Karen, I think, is my favorite coloring book artist. And I did this page here. This is called Pearls of Life. And I colored this one directly in the book. That's something that I wanted to do a little bit more. I colored her skin with Prismacolors. I also used a little bit of a different color combination this time. Used more poppy red to make her cheeks very reddish this time. Usually my cheeks are not that reddish. So for the hair I tried to use some ombre kind of style. So I started with some, I would say, turquoise colors, went into blue, darker blue, violet, and then pinkish violet, and then head into this rose here. And as outlining I have used Perfect Pearls by Ranger. So this is a pigment powder which you can use with water. The binder is included, and then you can just draw it on. What I like about it, it is a bit different to those shimmery watercolors, because it's actually, if the light is not hitting it, it's completely translucent, so that you can actually see what is underneath. And only when the light hits it, then you see this really beautiful shine. And I have some different colors. So on the green I used gold. Then I mixed the gold with the blue, so that I could create a little bit of this greenish blue, I would say. Went into a lighter blue, darker blue, and then I also had a violet. I hope you can see the different color hues here. I really, that's actually what I like about this page. Then I added a lot of the Aqua Shimmer Glitter Gloss Pen by Nuvo. I think this is my favorite glitter pen that I have. Also added some stickles. So you can see it's very sparkly, actually, very sparkly. Also the rose is extremely sparkly. I did the same to this rose. So Glitter Gloss Aqua Shimmer pen. A little bit of glossy accents on those droplets here. And a little bit of stickles. On the pearls I have glossy accents. And then the background is done with also with distress inks. So I started with distress inks and then went over with gelatos a bit. So the shiny violet tone here is gelato, and also the pattern, I used a stencil for it. The stencil is by Tim Holtz, and I went over with gelato. So yeah, this makes it quite soft, and yeah, I actually enjoyed this page quite a bit. And yeah, so that's all to say about the first Christine Karen image that I finished. And the second one is actually this image here. This is also a page that I had started at my Valentine's Color is Horn. I also filmed how I did her skin. I marker based this completely with water based markers this time, so ta-da, no bleed through. The only bleed through that you saw was from the wings that I used some water and that bleeded through, but the markers didn't bleed through, and yeah, I enjoy them. I think water-based markers are quite suitable as a base. I also filmed a video how to do a sparkly fairy dress here. So this is going to come up. I did add a little bit of metallic gel pens here on the dress. The background is done with distress inks. Only distress inks this time, and then I also used a stencil with white, yeah, it was a stencil paste, so this has a little bit of embossed feeling to it. It's not completely flat. On the wings I used some Paul Rubens shimmer paints, maybe it were the Artisan, I can't remember. Yeah, I wanted to make those shiny. Yeah. Also added a little bit of stickles to the wings, yeah, to make them not only shiny but even a little bit sparkly. So also added a little bit of stickles here to the flowers, to the flower bouquet. And yeah, I think this might be my favorite image from the last quarter that I have colored. I really like how this came out. So this was Fairy and Fantasy 3 by Christine Karen. So only two more images to show you. This page is by Dahlia. It's called Letter. I had started it a teensy bit on my Valentine's Color Zone, but I think I only did those hair. So the hair is done with the Caran d'Ache Pablo pencils. Face is done with the Prismacolors as usual, and for the rest I used the Pablo pencils. Her eyes and lips also done with the Pablo pencils, I think. And yeah, then here on her, what is it? Here on this thing, cannot come up with the name now. I also added in some, I think it were those Artisan shimmer paints. So I wanted to draw back in this pattern that was given on there, and yeah, I wanted to do this in a shiny manner. And then the background I did with Neocolor 2 at the base, and then went over with the Artisan shimmer paints. This makes it very shiny and sparkly. It did come out a little bit splotchy, I have to say. But yeah, I like the blue color actually, and yeah, I think it looks okay. Tried the Artisan shimmer paint the first time, and yeah, I have to play a little bit more with them. So this was Letter by Dahlia. And then my last completed page is this Mrs. Lip Reshare page by Christine Karen, and this is a Patreon reward that she gave for March. So yeah, and this brought me out of my coloring slump actually. Yeah, first her skin is not done with Prismacolors. Her skin this time is with the Caran d'Ache Pablo pencils, which I had only tried out one time, and that was maybe in 2018 in a Jasmine Beckett Griffiths book, and the page in those books is not as suitable for those pencils, I would say. I was really curious what I could do with those pencils on a printer cardstock. This is not a high quality paper, this is actually a printer cardstock or a crafting paper, so to speak. 160 gram, nothing special, not too expensive, quite smooth. I like it. So, and then, yeah, almost everything is colored in with Pablo pencils. The hair was done with Prismacolors. Oh yeah, and one fun thing is that I base layered everything with the Derwent Inktense this time. So this really made the process a lot faster and very enjoyable. I really enjoyed to use those Derwent Inktense. It also looked very nicely as it was, so I didn't even need to go over it, but yeah, I just wanted to have those colors a little bit smoother, so to speak, and it felt very nicely to color over with the Pablo pencils. So then the grass is done with Neocolor 2. I also went over a little bit with pencils to give some grass structure, and also with some acrylic paint pens to give some peaks going up here. Then the rest, so the sky, is done with the Faber-Castell. Oh mein Gott, ich hab's angespuckt. Gibt's doch gar nicht. So then the sky was done with the Faber-Castell gelatos, and yeah, that was very enjoyable process. I think I could do a video about how to do a sky background with gelatos, if you're interested in that. And I added a little bit of embellishment, not too much this time. I did a little bit of a sparkly effect on this belt, so on all the belts. A little bit glitter on the dress, and then a little bit of a gel pen, metallic gel pen, on her dress as well. I also added in a little bit of a pattern here on her skirt to make it a little bit more interesting. So, and yeah, that was the last finished page that I did in this quarter, and I have to say that I really enjoyed this one. So now I just want to show you two whips. This one also started on my Valentine's color Color-a-thon. I filmed this skin here, so this is going to come in the next weeks or so. And then the other whip that I have is this Mariola Budek image. Yeah, unfortunately I didn't manage to finish this one, but I hope to do that very soon. So, and that's actually all for this completed pages video. I hope you enjoyed it quite a bit, and I hope I will see you in my next video. So my next video on Sunday will be my coloring plans for the second quarter. So if you're interested in what I'm up to color in the next weeks and months, stay tuned for that video. I hope we will see you then. And until then, take care everyone. Happy coloring and bye!